Hello, my dears. Welcome to Jessica's Intuition. Welcome to the next weekly reading. Before we start here, I definitely need to mention a few things briefly. For those who are not interested, feel free to fast forward. We are looking at the week of the 24th, March, until the 30th of March. March is coming to an end, and the week after that, we are already in April. Before we start, I noticed in the last weekly reading, it was definitely better received by you that I did all 12 zodiac signs as a general message. That was clear to me. So it has always been like that in the past. In my first year, I did it. Then at some point, I stopped doing it altogether. Then I tried it again. So in 2021, 2022, and then finally in 2023, I didn't do it anymore. So last year, 2024, not at all. I would like to try that. So I definitely want to keep doing it for all 12 zodiac signs. I actually try to film it on Friday or Saturday evening, depending on when I have time, so that you all receive it on Sunday. I can't always promise that it will be ready by 8 o'clock on Sunday, maybe a little later. In any case, I have decided to publish them all on Sunday and not before. I also considered whether to publish them earlier once they are finished, but I think I'll release them all at the same time on Sunday, unless I change my mind during the week. No idea, I'll think it over carefully. As I said, I don't know if everything will work out by 8 o'clock in the morning this time. It's almost Saturday night now. Yeah, I just have to see. Then I definitely wanted to mention here that a few comments last week didn't sit well with me. First of all, this is my channel. If I want to include an introduction here, then I will. That's the first thing. I don't know how long it will be. I say that in advance. You are not forced to listen to it. You can also feel free to fast forward. As I said, if you're only interested in the card reading, you can actually leave my channel. I'm very straightforward about this because I want to have a community here that stands behind me and appreciates what I say here. And it's not just all about the card reading. I've said it before, I'm not a card reading machine, that it's solely about the card reading here. This is also about astrology, and I actually mention in every weekly reading what we can expect astrologically in the week. I am genuinely happy, I must say, when people reach out and leave a comment. That's how you can find the fly in the ointment and simply fish it out. So I have deleted a few comments and actually blocked a few users. As I said, if something doesn't suit me, I just do it. And I wanted to mention that I find it very disrespectful to even bring it up. And as I said, I don't want to give it any platform here, nor do I want to bother with it anymore. I just wanted to mention it here once. Anyone who stands out to me will be blocked immediately. Alright, that's just a preliminary note. The 72-hour outlook was also very well received by you. It will be available again on Thursday for all 12 zodiac signs. What I noticed there were the timestamps. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I won't be adding timestamps, that I won't write down when each sign comes up. If any of you would like to do that, you are welcome to, and I would be very grateful. I also take note of such things, and maybe I'll pick you out sometime and you'll receive a little goodie from me. Always remember, it's a give and take. I lay out the cards for you here. I don't have time for everything, and unfortunately, I don't have time to do that for all 4 channels as well. That's why I didn't do it. And as I said, you are welcome to write in the comments when your reading begins. I won't be upset about it. I am very grateful for it. There's good karma for you. And as I said, you will simply stand out to me because of it. Comments like the timestamps are missing or whatever stand out negatively. I just wanted to mention that so you are informed. I see everything. I also see things that are not visible. So in that sense, I see everything. Yes, that's just a preliminary note. I hope I haven't forgotten anything now. Exactly. I had told you that I have a course over the weekend, which actually runs from 9 to 6, from Friday to Sunday. Sunday, these readings will be released on Sunday. At some point during the day, the remaining spring readings will be released on all channels. And I will actually also try to publish the weekly reading on all channels from now on. So that's actually my project that I want to start right now. As mentioned, the remaining spring readings will come out sometime on Sunday during the day. And then starting Monday, the April readings will follow. First, the monthly reading, then the me and my counterpart reading. I know I still have a few love readings open about what's coming up in love for you. I think I will also do those this week. But I also have a few appointments this week. I'm not sure how I will manage all of it. Then we also have the new moon this week, for which an oracle will be released. Then we have Neptune, which is growing in the sign, and I actually want to make a video about that as well. That's why I just have to see. Maybe I'll do it like this. I'll first do the April reading because those are a priority. Then I'll do the remaining love readings. I think there are still 7 left of the what's coming up in love for you readings. The timeless ones. And after that, I'll do the me and my counterpart reading. They will probably already come into April, but everything is also partly timeless. A reading comes out every month for this series, so if it's a few days into April, I think it's not that bad. So I think I'm done with the complaining. Yes, as I said, for me, something like that is not acceptable at all. I wanted to mention it once, and with that, the matter is settled for me because I don't celebrate or like it at all. Well, as I said, we're looking at the week of the 24th until the 30th of March. The weekly readings won't be too long. Of course, the intro I speak will be included in every zodiac sign. That always takes longer than the actual reading. As I said, it's all a message. And it's all important for the next week, not just the card reading. And ultimately, they are weekly readings. Almost every day, a video is released on my channel. So I can't make all videos 30 minutes long. That just doesn't work. As I said, if someone doesn't like it, they are welcome to take the door and just leave. So what's coming up this week? We have right on Monday, the 30th, the 24th. In March, we have the Sun conjunct Mercury. Mercury is currently at 4 degrees Aries. It's retrograde, which means it's going back into Pisces. I had told you about it. It was at 9 degrees Aries, is now at 4 degrees Aries. And indeed, on Monday, we might feel major turning points, or a major turning point might occur. It could also be that something from the past comes up again. Something that we want to bring forward, especially since Mercury stands for our mind, also for communication. The sun always illuminates this. They are practically right next to each other. So they are directly, let's say, in the radix, they are directly next to each other, the conjunction. And this can actually also mean, yes, where should it go for you now? In which direction should it go now? In general, what, how, what, where. So it can actually mean where to with you. Where to with you. How should it move forward now? This is actually the case. With Mercury conjunction, so Sun conjunction Mercury, it can actually be directly on Monday that you feel it, right? The energies, or rather, yes, the energies, they know no time. They are there. They are already there now. One person feels it earlier, another feels it later. Then on the 27th of March, we have Venus in retrograde, conjunction Neptune. So I would actually take this week, yes, time for oneself. So I would take time so that you take time for yourself, that you also withdraw a bit, that you think a lot this week about how things can generally continue for you, you know, because we also have the new moon. I believe it will be a very, very spiritual week as well. The week will not be easy. I'm telling you now. Yes, as I said, on the 27th. In March, we have Venus retrograde, conjunction Neptune. Neptune is currently at 29 degrees Pisces. As I said, it is also changing its sign. It can actually be that we are more emotional, that we are more sensitive, more compassionate. It can also be that we want to heal or want to heal ourselves, that things simply come up, you know, that we are allowed to process, things we might have pushed aside, right? Forgiveness issues, also something like forgiving oneself. This is definitely a time for spirituality, to go within, to be with oneself, you know, to, as I said, also take time for oneself. As I have already said, it can also mean that major cleansing processes, as I said, the topic of healing, the topic of, yes, cleansing as well. I am definitely with the star energy on this, I just have to say. On the 27th of March, we also have Lilith changing its sign. It changes every 9 years. It also moves into Scorpio. I'm also very curious about how this energy will affect us. However, it goes until the 20th. December into Scorpio. After that, it becomes retrograde and comes back again. That's just a preliminary note. And then we actually have on the 29th March, which is Saturday the 29th, we have a solar eclipse, which means the solar eclipse at 8 or rather 9 degrees Aries. Yes, the new moon in Aries is approaching. Restart. Exactly. Restart. Oh, energy is a fire energy. This is a very, very active energy. Strong willpower. A new chapter may open. We already had the new astrological year starting on Thursday. That was also, I have to be honest, I actually started something new on that day. So at the moment, everything is going very well for me. I can't say it any other way. So the year is really off to a good start for me. I hope it's the same for you, that you are making good progress in your endeavors as well. As I said, there was also a topic for me that I had been putting off for a long time. I had been putting it off since last year, and I realized that I have to tackle it sometime this year. I kept postponing it. And now with the eclipse season, by the way, the last eclipse, at the beginning of the year is now, the 2nd of 4. And with that, the eclipse season is also over for now. It will only return at the end of the year in September or October. And it is indeed the case during the eclipse season or the retrogrades, as I mentioned in the astrological forecast. In March, things will resurface that we have postponed. Simply things we haven't addressed. And that indeed happened to me. And I can't tell you otherwise. Tackle the things you are putting off. One day you will be confronted with them again, sooner or later. And for me, a few things were indeed already too late. I know, but I knew that myself. But my hands were simply tied. I didn't have a solution for it. And I knew the solution would come eventually when the time is right. I was then also forced to do something else first instead of what I actually wanted. And ultimately it resolved itself on Thursday, or rather, finally on Friday for me. I'm very grateful and very happy that I no longer have a problem in that regard. Yes, as I said, some might want to reflect back on last year, September or October, when the eclipse season was also happening, to see what was pending then, whether you've completed it or not. As mentioned, we have the new moon in Aries, which is a very, very strong energy. It's also an energy for the next 6 months, where I would say, look at what you intended back then, whether it has now been fulfilled or realized, what still needs to be looked at, what still needs to be tackled, what can finally be completed, what can be started anew, opening a new chapter. This is indeed under the motto, I would say, as mentioned, there will be another video about this, probably on Thursday. I will manage to film the video. Maybe already on Wednesday, and then it will be published for you on Thursday. That's how I feel about it. Yes, for the new moon in Aries. I'm very curious about that. Yes, that's it for now. And then, my dear ones, what can I say? On March 30th, we have Neptune in Aries. I believe this week Mercury will also... Won't it go back over Aries again? I have a feeling... Doesn't it go back over Aries again this week? Wait a moment. I need to quickly check my astrology tool. So I think it goes again on the 29th, right? I believe on the 29th, Mercury goes back into Pisces again. But I'm not 100% sure about that. It's currently on Monday, it's at 4 degrees. I think it will again. I think it was on the 29th. On the 29th, Mercury goes back into Pisces again. Yes, the 29th. That was it. I didn't write it down. Thought I would remember it. Well, let's finally get to the last part. The 30th. Yes, the 30th of March. Neptune in the sign of Aries. That actually only happens every 164 years. 164 years ago, none of us were around. So we don't know how that will be And especially the constellation that is present now, it wasn't there before. And Neptune, Anjou, in Aries actually stays until the 22nd. Oct 2025 in Aries. Then it becomes retrograde again and goes back into Pisces. And then in January, I believe it was the 25th or the 26th. Jan. Neptune goes back into the sign of Aries. So this Aries 0 point is very, very important. I watched a video by Silke Schaefer 2 days ago or so. So when she published it, the last video from me, super informative. There were just such awesome messages in it. I can only recommend it to you. Watch the video. She is a professional astrologer. And yes, she mentioned and talked about some things that are just wow, what awaits us. Yes, a new cycle is opening. So as I said, this transit, we have not seen or experienced it in our lifetimes. It can actually mean that it stands for great new beginnings that we are now entering. In general, new energy, new world. Everything will be a bit different. Everything will change, also on a global scale. We have the feeling, I think, yes, the urge for it, especially with Aries and Neptune, also the urge to start anew, to begin again, perhaps also to realize our dreams. Big new dreams, a bigger or newer life. And I also like to say lately, hold on to your vision. And you probably, most of you here at least, have noticed that something has also come true for me in the last few weeks, for which I am very grateful that it happened the way it did. Ultimately also with my other channels. That was a very, 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 very deep-seated wish for me that I would eventually start the English one. Now, in the meantime, I'm also available in Spanish or Turkish. And yes, I am curious to see what else will come. So, at the moment, I'm really very, very happy. Of course, there are a few things that still need to be addressed that one likes to look at. I just took the deck of cards and there was the Ace of Cups under the deck, which also tells me once again that there are very, very big new beginnings this week. Very important new beginnings as well. I also believe that for many, a new beginning is coming this week. Okay, my dears, I'll leave it here with this intro for now. A good 18 minutes have passed. As I said, I'm not rushing myself anymore. I'm also taking the time to tell you this. A little reminder. I have decided that you will get the annual reading for 2026 with a 25% early bird discount. I am extending it for another week. For those who still want to participate, let's say until the 31st of March, because the 30th of March we are going until the 31st of March. Until 2025, 11:59 p.m. you can purchase the annual reading for 2026 with the early bird discount enter for 25% less. Book the annual reading for 2025 anyway. I will remove it sometime next month or the month after, and then I will already put in 2027. But for now, it will remain available. And yes, this reading will be released on Sunday. Anyone who still wants to get the spring reading at a discount can do so until Sunday, the 23rd. March. Without any additional code, you can save 20% on the spring reading. When you add it to the cart, it will be automatically deducted. Exactly, that's just for you, my dears. I would say let's start with the zodiac signs and see you soon in the videos. Hello dear Scorpio, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's see. How does the week want to approach you, or what does the week want to bring to you? Always remember that the roles in a reading can be reversed. Time is always relative, time reads. And these are always collective readings, general readings. Of course, it may also be that not everything will align with you and this reading here. Yes, and all important information, all important links, and also the cards I use can always be found below in the info box. And everything I currently offer can be found on my website. Feel free to also check your moon sign and your ascendant sign. Not just your star sign, meaning your sun sign. And take a look at where your personal planets are positioned. The Ace of Cups is already showing itself under the deck. A new beginning is on the horizon here. You will leave a situation. Leave something behind. I have already taken out the moon cards. We have the new moon. A new beginning is imminent. The new moon in Aries. Time to take action. And we have the solar eclipse. A massive change. I would say a big, massive change. Perhaps it is a big, massive change for you that will happen this week.
Let's see what comes out. 5 of Wands and the Empress. Get out of conflicts. The Empress doesn't bother with such things, right? These are small disputes. These are people who do not wish you well. These are confrontations. As I said, fight here as well. You are allowed to walk away from these disputes, right? You are worth more than this here. The Empress grows beyond herself. The Empress stands for growth, for fertility, and also for renewal. Let it grow. You are finally allowed to grow as well. Grow beyond yourself. Sorry. Yes, you are allowed to surpass yourself. I told the truth. Let's move on. Always 2 cards now. What's going on here? He wants this one first. The Page of Coins and the 7 of Cups. You will definitely start something new this week. The Page of Coins is ready to invest his coins. The Page of Coins is ready very gently, very cautiously to start something new, something Stella discovered, something you discovered. To invest there, it can actually mean that you are financially investing in something, that you are ready for it. You also have different possibilities here. It can actually mean that you had a vision or several, and now you want to put something into action. The 7 of Cups is always a bit like building castles in the air. But I have the feeling that this will dissolve by the end of the week, when we also have Neptune in Aries, that you will finally decide or be able to decide knowing what you want. You still need to find balance here. There still needs to be this adjustment of what one wants. Free yourself from old things. Be ready for a new beginning. Be ready for a new path. Come back into balance with Temperance. Let harmony return to your life. We actually just had this in the continuation with Libra as well. The 6 of Wands in reverse. We have the 5 of Wands here. We have the 6 of Wands here. In between is the Ace of Wands. This is the power to act, being ready to take action. The will should be stronger than anything else to move away from these things. I have the feeling that this is also somewhat your theme. With the failure, the fear of what if it goes wrong, what if it doesn't work? But what if it does work? Why don't you just try it out? I just said that with the continuation of the Chariot, and that the fear of not being able to achieve something is greater than the will to actually implement and achieve it, that still needs to be resolved. You don't need to be afraid of failure. You also don't need to be afraid that it will go wrong if it doesn't work the first time. Maybe it will work the second time or the third time or even the 10th or 6th time. It's important not to give up. And that you are ready to pursue your plans, your ideas for implementation, not necessarily to fight, but to be ready to take these steps, not to give up. Very ready to go down this path. Be ready to move forward here. I'm drawing a moon card for you. I've pulled it out. Well, I've sorted it out. Not this one, but another moon card for you. Let's see what wants to come out here. Things will soon get intense. That's the full moon in Aries. Maybe this also has a 6-month tendency until the full moon, and during the full moon. The full moon in Aries has a significance for you. It's like a 6-month cycle when we then have the full moon in Aries. That would be half a year later, approximately. Things will soon get intense, as soon as it is, of course soon, but it can actually be that you realize them by the full moon in Aries eventually as well. Okay? I'll leave it at that for now. Be ready to take action. Be ready for new beginnings. Very, very important. Let's see. I will now lay out another row of cards for you in the continuation. Then we'll see what is coming your way. There will probably be an offer coming. What else has shown up here? Yes. A guided new beginning. It apparently wants to come out. Let's see if something like that will happen. I will now lay out another row of cards for you in the continuation. Then we'll see what will come your way. I am drawing a power card for you here. Which power card will accompany you this week? Then we will draw a soul message for you and an angel message. This can be advice or an answer to your question. And to conclude, we will also draw love messages for you. And you have the option to view the continuation through 2 different links, at least on the German channel. The first link is the one that leads to my website. There you can always view the continuation individually. Very important, you will always receive 2 emails. The first email is the confirmation email, where you have your invoice. And then you will receive a second email where you have the button that directs you to the continuation. Be sure to also check your spam folder for the email. The second email can also end up in the spam folder. Then you also have the option here on the German channel to watch the continuation through the channel membership on YouTube. This is the second link, which then leads you to the continuation of the channel membership. However, you can only watch it if you are a member. There you will find the section for my channel membership in the third link. There you can sign up for a channel membership. Starting from the second level community bronze, you have full access. Access to the continuation of the weekly reading. And you can always find these links below in the info box and also in the top comment. I look forward to welcoming you there soon, and to everyone else I wish you a wonderful week, all the best, and until the next reading,